So, what's the difference between a worker bee and a strategist? I'm here to explain to you the differences that I didn't really know until here lately. So, stay tuned. We're going to talk about it. Story. Hi, my name is Deanna, and welcome to my channel, Let's Get Wealthy Together. Today, I'm going to be talking about worker bees and strategists. So we all have been in different companies where we are like working so hard, and then we see people that's kind of looking from above, making sure that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, and that we're implementing the ideas in which they came up with. So I just want to touch on that today, and to especially as we grow in wealth, and to figure out what the difference is between the two. Now, I've been working a long time. Since I was 16 years old, I started working at McDonald's, and I remember I was trying to be the hardest worker ever. Like, I wanted to make the money, and I also feel as if my work is a reflection of who I am, and I still feel that way today. At the same time, as I grew in my different career field, I was at a job once, and I remember working early mornings, staying there late at night, coming on weekends. I mean, my eye was twitching. I was completely stressed out, overworked. The load was just so much. I was receiving over 200 emails per day that had requests. I could barely take a vacation. When I came back from vacation, I would have thousands of emails waiting on me that normally hadn't been touched by a backup. And so I remember the conversation at that point where some of the higher ups trying to describe the workers, and they described me as a workhorse, right? Deanna gets it done. Deanna works hard for the money. But at the same time, I was like, I'm not really making any money. Like, I was really struggling. And so at that point, that label of being a workhorse to me was a compliment. But today, I kind of think, I'm not sure if that's such a large and great compliment. Now, we all go through a period, most of us anyway, where we are a worker bee. You know, you come in and it's hard for you to go from the very bottom to the top instantly, right? There is a process. Sometimes people have to pay their dues in order to become a strategist. So there's definitely a process through that, but I don't want us to get caught up in being a worker bee so long that we don't get to be in the strategy part of it. You see, I believe that's why a lot of the generation, the millennials, people, Generation X even, decide to stay at jobs, 3 to 5 years before they move on to the next job. Why? Because it seems like to me, and let's have a dialogue about it, but it seems like to me that if you're at a company longer than 5 years, in some ways, in the same position, you some ways lose your credibility to them. They don't look to you as much for innovation. You just become a worker. You just do this, do that, and then you live on this whole 3% raise every year. And if you ask for $20,000 more, $10,000, $15,000 more. Oh no, we can't give you that. But they'll give that to a new person that's coming in. And so a lot of times we change companies in order to get to the money that we need to get to. I remember here lately, at this level that I am now, I've worked as a marketing director before, just work with different executives and things like that. And there's a whole new slew of workers coming in under me that are now considered the worker bee. And now I'm kind of considered more of a strategist. And I think that's simply because of the ideas that I have and the experience that I have, and the way that I can come in and help explain different ways of doing things, and get the worker bees to implement those types of things, right? Just as we grow in our wealth, as we grow in building wealth, we should all be aware of being a worker bee doesn't always equate to making the money, right? I know it's, for a lot of us, it's the primary goal to be self-employed. But even as a self-employed, you're constantly being a worker bee. You may be touching everything. You may be even more so as an entrepreneur. You're doing the marketing, you're doing the sales, you're making the product, you're boxing, you're mailing it. In a company, you're doing segments of those things. But as an entrepreneur, you're doing all of those things. The two different segments of that is, if you're doing a 9 to 5, you may be concentrating on the actual portion of that. Don't get stuck in that. If you're going to do that, make sure you get as much experience as possible so that you become a strategist, so that you can become someone higher up in the company that they can actually look to you to figure out ways to better things, learn how to do things, stay educated. Don't get caught in the mundane, the day-to-day, and get comfortable being a worker bee for 20, 30 years. Different positions, but you're making lateral moves. The whole idea to build wealth is at least advance in your career. Same thing with the entrepreneur. You're gonna have all these different things you gotta do. I just named a whole slew of them. Customer service would be another one. At some point, you need to start bringing in individuals. Oh, I need you. Would you please come work for me to do my sales? You do my marketing for me. This person will do the shipment for me, so that you can use your mind in order to actually grow the business the way that it needs to be grown, and you could be successful doing the things that you're the most strongest at, and you can use strategy in order to get you to the point where you can make the most money. Strategists make the most money. They're the VPs, they're the CEOs, the COOs, they're the business owners, but they're all individuals that have just let it go. Like, they don't hold on and have to do every single thing. They hire people to do the work, to do the Monday, everyday thing, while they sit back and try to strategize on ways to make the business better, to make it grow. And I want to encourage us all to do your worker bee thing, but eventually go on to be a strategist, so that you can be the most successful, and you can get the most bang out of your buck, like the biggest ROI. So that you can grow. You can't do everything yourself and expect growth, and you cannot be comfortable and expect growth. Okay? All right, hope this helps. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.